I I received a notice in my letterbox that invited me to go to an afternoon tea in the park, which is just a couple of doors down from my house, and it really was promoting the opportunity of creating a community environment, rather like the old village systems. It was getting people in touch with their neighbours. I attended that meeting and it was a lovely afternoon. We sat in the park and we had cups of tea and we ate cake and chatted, and I got to speak to a lot of neighbours that I'd lived in the area in that street for 7 years and never met before.
I missed the meeting the morning tea. Was it morning tea or afternoon tea? Afternoon tea with the big teapot in the park. Even though the park's only 4 doors away from me, I missed it. But then I got a second chance because I met Barb somewhere and she said, you must come along and do some knitting, which I thought was a good idea. And being here is just hysterical. I've met Sandy, who actually lives, how many doors? We worked out three or four doors down the road from me, has been there for 7 years and I'd never met her before.
I called in at the council office, and in the council office was a big teapot with a beautiful big tea cosy over the top, and I commented, oh, what a beautiful tea cosy, it was hand knitted. And they said, oh, it's part of a project. Do you knit? I said, oh yes, I love knitting. Oh, well, they want to hear from you. So I contacted Sue via email, and next minute Barb rang me and came and visited me and said, come along on Sunday afternoon. We've got Colleen the caravan. Come and see what you have to cover. And that was how I became involved.
We live in a street where most people go out to work, or they're doing their own thing anyway. And so although we know who the neighbours are, and we can say hello when we see them in the street and that sort of thing, there isn't really any interaction apart from just the casual, that sort of thing, how you going. So it was a good excuse to meet other people.
And I think this is very important in today's society. We become busier and busier and we move on. And there are many people, either elderly people who don't have family, or you have young mums who are isolated because they're with young children. And so it's getting people to come together, and I think it's an excellent idea.
We all know each other's houses, but we didn't know who was in them. So now Avril, I walk past your place pretty regularly. I love your garden, it's really good too. and I've met another woman who's just left, who actually lives basically almost behind me. So it's fantastic, isn't it? And so I can also get some help with knitting when I forget what I'm doing.
As you can see behind me, I've got a whole lot of knitted squares, and my job is to assist the knitters who've made it to connect all the squares together. So it's a symbolic relationship between making the tea cosy and also what the whole project is about.
But it's really good to meet different people, and it's nice to get back to knitting because it's something I haven't done for a long time.
Well, as I understand it, the tea cosy will go on Colleen the caravan. She's a lovely vintage caravan who's been lovingly restored, and she's had a handle and a spout added to her. So she will be used to host tea parties or afternoon tea parties in streets within Campbelltown. People, when they see her, go, what's that? And often people will come up and talk to Barb or someone else who's there hosting the tea party and find out what's going on.
There was a caravan there, and now we're all knitting a tea cosy to put over that caravan, and the caravan is the symbol of the uniting the communities, connecting communities together. And so that's what we're doing here, knitting today, whether it's an issue, it's a symbol, that's what we're trying to achieve. To invite people to come along and knock on people's doors and say, hello, I'm your neighbour, and do you need any help?
This project is really about making connections with people. It's about helping people in local communities get to know each other.
I don't know which is more important, to make this wonderful, huge teapot out of a caravan, or to just keep meeting these people that we should have known a long time ago, shouldn't we, Sandy and Avril?
Certainly should.